Hey Phil, how you going?
Not too bad, Pato. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming on so soon after your epic race.
Yeah, no drama. It's always a pleasure to be on your podcast.
Yeah, I can't wait. It wasn't all that long ago. You're on last after Dead Cow Gully. It doesn't even feel that long ago, but we've got plenty to talk about, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I guess everyone knows that you love the backyard ultra format. Like you know who all the big dogs are, and you follow all the results. You are a backyard ultra fan. So when you were at Bigs just recently, like, do you allow yourself to be a fan, or do you have to block that out so you can focus on executing your race?
No, I wouldn't say it's like being a fan. They're more like my peers. Like it's good to go and meet these people who I've followed along online and I've seen what other races they've done and but yeah, I'm just there as yeah, just like a peer really, like get to know them a bit more. And even though you've never met in person, it's kind of like you feel like you know each other a bit already, and you don't really need to introduce each other. Like you kind of know who you are, and yeah, so it's good to get to meet these people and run with them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did any runners have like a bit of an aura about themselves and like they just like stood out for some reason or not really?
Um, yeah, well, there was a lot of really good performances there, and a lot of um, like crowd favorites. Um, like Bagman, Mitchie. So I ran with him at Dead Cow Gully, but he's just got this sort of enthusiasm and presence about him that, yeah, just when you're running with him or running past him, it's yeah, he's just got a good vibe about him. So yeah, it's good to run with him at Dead Cow Gully and then run again with him here. And I think a lot of other people that hadn't met him before and running with him for the first time here kind of got that same impression about him as well. Sarah Perry, it was great to run with her. She was, yeah, just amazing being able to, see what she did. And yeah, coming from a PB of 59 to absolutely smashing the UK and the female records. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, there was, yeah, lots of people I enjoyed running with. Yeah, probably get into that a bit more later.
Did you get yourself a Bagman sticker?
I did get a Bagman sticker and it's gone onto my folder for my plan. So
Oh, awesome.
I'll have him with me at every event that I go to now.
Yeah. And what about the analytical side of things when it comes to other runners? Like in the days leading into the race, were you thinking much about the other runners who are going to be there and what they're capable of and things like that?
I'm definitely aware of what other people are capable of. I was really looking forward to running with Lukash, knowing that he'd done 116 and still not really found his limit at that point. Um, yeah, and Ivan as well, who'd run 106. A lot of other runners there, and uh, yeah, definitely knew what they were capable of, but I didn't look at it as like a threat or anything. It was just a knowledge. Like I know what these guys can do, and but I didn't really kind of get into the deep analyticals of how long they're going to last, how long am I going to have to run with these people for, and all of that. It was just more of just an awareness of what they've done.
Yeah. So Lukacs unfortunately dropped quite early in the race. Did you
He
like
did.
get to speak to him much? I heard he was a really, really friendly guy on the
Yeah.
Friday.
So I met up with him on the Friday when we were setting up, and yeah, he was super friendly. Really good to get to meet him and have that time together on the Friday. I didn't actually get to run with him much through the event. I was kind of thinking, he's going to be one of the guys at the end here. I've got a long time to have a chance to run with him and chat with him. But yeah, it's on I think his 16th or 17th lap, and I'd started out on the loop, and then he was coming in late from the loop, and yeah, had a little bit of a chat then, and he explained what had been going on, and I didn't even realize any of that had been happening. Like he'd been struggling for 8 or 9, 10 hours, I can't remember, but he'd had a rough run and he'd pushed through pretty hard. So it was a little bit sad to see his race drop so early, when he's obviously got so much potential. But yeah, just wasn't his day, I guess.
Yeah. That actually reminds me. I noticed at Dead Cow Gully as well as at Biggs. It almost looks like when you run your first loop, you're purposely running it as slow as possible. So, is there a reason for that? That you're running your first loop really slowly?
Yeah, it's not just the first loop, it's even kind of the first day. I'll try to just yeah, take it a bit easier. Like when I'm getting into the crew tent at the end of the lap, I'm kind of just sitting there and twiddling my thumbs. Like there's not really a lot that needs to be done in those early laps. So I'm more about just yeah, conserving that energy out on course. And as far as yeah, doing my first lap the slowest, it's kind of just sets that benchmark. Like this is going to be my slowest lap. I don't want to come in slower than this. The at Biggs, it was actually slower than what I intended because on all of my data last year on my watch, my laps were reading around 6.7 or 6.75. Like it was very close. But this time they were more like 6.85 and to 6.9 on some of the laps. So when I'd come in and I was timing it to be a little bit quicker than 57 minutes, but with the extra distance that I wasn't expecting, yeah, I ended up coming in after that first whistle. But yeah, for lap one, that's not a huge deal, and it's still kind of just reinforced the fact that even if I am coming in at this time, it's still enough time to get what I need to do
Mm,
in the crew 10 and turn around and go out for another lap.
yeah. Were other runners saying that their watch was measuring it a little bit further as well?
Yeah, I did. I had the discussion with a few other runners, and it seemed to be a common thing, which is weird because, like, I ran the exact same course 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I didn't see anywhere, like, it didn't look like it had been changed at all. It was pretty much just how I remembered it. And I don't even know where you would add the extra distance in. Maybe only if the turnaround was in the wrong spot, but I'm pretty sure that was in the same spot.
Oh,
So I don't know why last year or sorry, 2 years ago, I was consistently getting that 6.7, but then this year I was getting 6.9s.
yeah, yeah. That's weird. I guess what was your mentality and mindset like going into Bigs this year compared to 2 years ago? Was it any different?
Um, I think I was like I would say I was confident 2 years ago, but I think this year I was more confident. Just having more experience under my belt. Like, I mean, it's only been another 2 years, and what have I done in that time? Probably I think another four backyard ultras. But those four backyards that I've done, they've all gone really well. Obviously, yeah, the 96 hours at Sat Champs and still feeling, really strong at the end. Same as Sydney doing 81 hours, feeling really strong at the end. And obviously we know we did Calgary doing the world record there. So I think, yeah, having that extra experience and even just knowing, like when I went to Bigs 2 years ago, I hadn't seen the course. Like I'd heard things about it, but I just didn't have the actual experience on the course. I didn't have that knowledge of the course. So going in there this time, I was a bit more mentally prepared for that, and I was prepared to be doing slower laps in the day, but knowing that I can kind of make up the time at night. Uh, so yeah, I think this year definitely, yeah, definitely a lot more confident and a lot more experienced, but still not. Like I didn't go in there thinking that this is a sure thing. Like I still knew I'd have to be working to stay there at the end. I kind of had a feeling. Like 2 years ago, I was like, "Nah, the world record won't get broken here because it's such a rough course."
Yeah.
But this time, I was like, "Yeah, I think the world record will get broken here." So I think mentally in my head, I was prepared for the event to go a lot longer as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's no doubt that Biggs was the biggest and most important race of your life. Tell me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong. But, and especially as far as your legacy goes. So, I mean, I'm assuming you felt some nerves. So, how did you handle nerves leading into the race?
Yeah, so I think I'm getting better at handling the nerves each time. Like they always come, especially in like the day before. Even to the point that I just find it hard to eat because I'm that nervous and
Mm.
yeah, just kind of stressed about the little things. But I think I've gotten a lot better accepting that that's just part of it. And when those nerves come, I kind of know that's just normal. And when I get to the event and when the event starts, all those nerves will disappear. So it is like that. Every event I come in as soon as I start lap one, as soon as that bell goes for the first lap, it's just straight into race mode. And it doesn't matter about all those nerves and stuff I had before, they all disappear.
Yeah. So I mentioned legacy in the last question, and it's something that people talk about doing things for their legacy so they can be remembered in generations to come. Is that something that you think about? Is that something that drives you?
I wouldn't say it's the reason that I do these events, or the reason that I want to do well in the races that I do. But yeah, looking back on it after the fact and seeing that this is kind of making some sort of legacy, I do think that that's pretty cool. Um, so yeah, it's a cool thing to have, but it's not the reason that I do these things.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I've noticed like nearly every backyard ultra you do, you add an item to clothing, something new to your
Yeah,
wardrobe. So at
yeah,
Bigs, I noticed you were wearing long white and black pants, and they looked awesome. And
yeah.
do you know who you reminded me of when you were wearing them?
Tell me.
Han Solo.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually dressed up as Han Solo for my wedding.
Yeah. I knew that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's unreal. Because he's one of the coolest characters in the movie universe, isn't he? Han
yeah,
Solo.
yeah,
But
definitely.
but do you reckon like did you choose them because they looked a bit like they had the Han Solo vibe about them?
No, that wasn't part of it at all. I was in Trab and Trail and I saw these Uglo pants. I saw the Uglo pants and I was like, yep, I need a new pair of pants. And these ones have got pockets because the other rain pants that I've got, they don't have pockets. So it makes it hard with the backyards when I've got all this stuff to carry. But yeah, so I just thought I'll grab these pants and yeah, I've got a spot to keep my water bottle and snacks or whatever it is I need to carry with me on the lap. Um, but yeah, the Han Solo thing didn't come into it at all, to be honest.
Well, yeah, no, they look cool. And they're Uglo, so I'm going to
Yeah,
get some because they look
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So a lot of sports use video analysis to find ways to improve, as well as learn about their opponents. And with backyard ultras, there's more live streams around now. So do you go back and watch them so you can pinpoint things about your race or ways to improve?
Yes, I have actually gone back and started rewatching the live streams, and I did the same for the end of Dead Cow Gully as well. But I'm not watching it for the sole purpose of like analyzing every little thing, and it's more of just I'm just curious to what happened when I wasn't there, and because obviously when I'm at the event, I'm only seeing it from my point of view. But it is cool when the cameras go into the other crew's tents and kind of get a glimpse of behind the scenes. And it's also cool to see like on paper, like I see, some people coming in with like 57, 58 minutes and knowing that they've only got like 1 or 2 minutes to like do stuff that they need to do during the break. So it's cool to actually see that on camera and actually see what that looks like. And it just kind of, yeah, it makes me realize like when I'm, stressing about coming in with like 53 minutes, yeah, it makes me realize that, that's still heaps of time because these guys are coming in with like 1 or 2 minutes to spare and they're still being able to get everything that they need to do. One of the laps I saw Leonidas from Mexico, he was having a shave. He had like 2 minutes and he's there like having a shave. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, don't you want to be eating or, something else? But I don't know, maybe that was just part of it to make him feel a bit fresher or something, like the same way that I'll brush my teeth or have a shower. That might be his little thing.
Yeah.
So it is cool to see all of those different aspects that when I'm actually in the race, I don't get to see any of that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that they are helpful. Like, and so you do actually find them a little bit helpful in a way.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I watch it out of interest, but I do learn little things here and there.
Yeah. Okay, so how was the trip over to the US?
Uh, It was very long, but I did manage to get a good sleep on the plane. So it wasn't too bad. And so I think it was about from the moment we left home to the moment we arrived at the hotel, it was 33 hours.
Right.
So it sounds like a long time, but then at the same time, I'm like, well, it's only 33 hours. Like if this was a backyard, that would be nothing. So I kind of just, yeah, use that to remind myself that it's not actually that long a time. But yeah, by the time we were probably into the hotel by about 1 in the morning or something, and was able to get a good sleep once we got to the hotel. And there were a few, probably the next 2 or 3 days, I was pretty tired throughout the day and would be having afternoon naps, but still getting a solid sleep at night. And so by the time the event came around, I felt like I was pretty well adapted to that time zone.
Mm. Yeah, awesome. So, can you tell me about who you had crewing for you over there?
Yep. So I had Gemma crewing on the days and Mally crewing at the nights. And we also had I was had Joshi as my tent mate, and so he had Caroline during the day and Tim at night. And so when Joshi's race ended, he stuck around and his crew jumped on to help my crew.
Yeah.
So yeah, between the four of them, they all did a really good job. And then also behind the scenes, which I've done with a lot of my other races as well, is I had like a little chat group. So back home in Australia, I had Gabby, who's my nutritionist, helping out with advice, and also Nathan, who's a doctor and hypnotherapist, and he was helping from back in Australia as well.
Oh, cool. Um, Now, with the gazebo location, did you choose where it was, or was the position important to you?
Yes, so we did get to choose, and the way that Laz did it was first we had to choose, or we didn't have to choose, but if we wanted to choose a tent mate, he would give us an average of what our PB was. So I chose Jashi, and so our average was like 109.5 or something, which actually put us like second in order. So he let us choose in order. So whoever had the most yards got to choose first, and then it just worked down the list. So we got to choose second, and yeah, which meant yeah, we chose that spot specifically. It wasn't right next to the crowd, but it was fairly close. But we had the shade of the trees there. We had space around us, so we could set up an extra, like I set up my little tent and my shower area, and yeah, it was away from like all the other tents seemed to be quite cramped together, whereas this one we kind of just seemed to have a bit of space, so we're away from kind of that noise a little bit as well. And yeah, it just ended up being a really good spot because I remember 2 years ago we was on the other side of the corral, which was close to the corral, and it was good from that aspect. But I just found that during the day, was actually moving my chair across to the other side so I could sit in the shade of the trees.
Right.
So this year it's like, well, why don't we just start on that side? And yeah, it ended up being really good there.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you and Jashi had the second highest average. Do you know who had the highest?
So Sam was at the top, and because he didn't choose a tent mate,
Ah,
so he had 118.
yeah.
And then, yeah, we were second with 109.5.
Yeah, cool.
And then I think Lukash and Bartosz were also 109.5 with their
Right.
average.
Yeah, yeah, they
But
would have
yeah,
been.
they got to pick third. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. Laz, he's a genius, isn't he? The way
Yeah.
things he comes up with. I wouldn't have thought of that.
2 years ago, it was just completely random. We got randomly allocated a spot and randomly allocated a tent mate, and then we were allowed to swap. So I ended up swapping Aaron with Aaron's tent mate, so me and Aaron could share together.
Mm.
But I think this way he did it is a lot better in that it kind of rewards those people who've done the higher totals, and also people get to choose who they're sharing with.
Yeah, that's good. Now, on the Friday, I mean, you'd obviously run at Bigs before, but did you go and have a look at the course anyway?
Nah. Like I'd already done my run for that morning, and I wasn't going to waste any extra energy. I know that Mally and Tim went out for a run and got to see it, and so I'm sure if there was anything, you know, different about the course or dangerous or something I should be aware of, they would have let me know. But yeah, their run went all well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And what time did you get there on the Saturday morning?
Uh, well, we started at 7. I think we got there just before 6.
Yeah.
So we'd done the majority of the setup on the Friday. And there was just a few extra things we had to bring down on the Saturday. So there wasn't really, yeah, we didn't really need to get there super early.
Yeah. It's lucky that that rain didn't come the night before, so everyone's tents and stuff got ruined while they the night before the race.
Yeah, but then also if it had come that night instead, then we wouldn't have been running through the rain all night during the event, but that's all right.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's it. So I mean, the changing weather conditions for the first 48 hours were a real feature of the race, and it really changed the race. So, I mean, the first day I understand it was quite warm.
Yeah, it was pretty hot, but the course is quite shaded as well. So it wasn't too bad, and it's not anything hotter than I've run in before. Like I've run at Red Dirt Backyard Ultra and run at Hurdy's. Like those events get pretty hot. So compared to that, I wouldn't say it was too bad. I was grateful for the shade that we had on the course. And it was hot, but it was manageable.
Yeah, yeah. And the day loop on the trail, I've heard that there were fewer falls this year, and it did look like more of an obvious trail on the live stream. So was it easier this year for some reason?
Yeah, I think the course looked like it had been cleared a lot better. I don't know if someone had been through with a rake or a leaf blower or something, but there certainly wasn't as many trip hazards hidden. Um, yeah, like 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure I saw someone fall at least every lap or heard about someone falling every lap. Whereas this year, there were people who fell, but it wasn't very often. I fell once on I think maybe the fourth day, but it wasn't too bad a fall. But yeah, otherwise the course looked pretty good compared to how I remembered it from 2 years ago, and it wasn't as dusty either. I remember 2 years ago there was a lot of dust being kicked up and people getting blood noses and stuff from the dust.
Mm.
But that didn't happen this year. It was a lot better.
Yeah. So we mentioned the rain, and that
Yeah.
first night it was hardcore rain.
Yeah.
Um, have you ever run in a race as rainy, as wet as that one?
Nah, that's been the most rain I've ever run through in a backyard.
Yeah.
It was yeah, wasn't too bad when it started, and we were just told, oh yeah, this will just be like 2 or 3 laps, but it just seemed to keep going and going. And I don't mind running in the rain. In fact, I actually enjoy running in the rain a lot of the time. But normally when I'm running in the rain, it's like I know that I'm going to get home soon and can have a shower and dry myself up. Whereas this, it's just like, yeah, coming in from the lap and I got to change my shoes and socks each time, and I'm rotating through the shoes to try and give them a chance to dry in between. And yeah, like normally when I run in the rain, it's like my body will get wet, but my shoes and socks will stay relatively dry. But this time, they were just getting saturated. There was just that much rain. There wasn't even like deep puddles that I was running through. It was just from the rain itself. My
Yeah.
shoes and socks were getting saturated, which meant I had to change my shoes and socks every lap, which just takes more time and started to run out of pairs of socks and stuff as well. And so, yeah, just had to make sure I kept one dry pair of socks and one dry pair of shoes aside for when the rain eventually did clear up. I'd have some dry stuff to change into. So it was annoying, but it wasn't race ending or anything. It's just an extra thing that we had to deal with.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it was that kind of rain that even if you were wearing a rain jacket and stuff, it still wouldn't make any difference. You'd still get wet.
Yeah, I was definitely still getting wet. Yeah, there's only so much rain that those rain jackets can keep out.
Yeah.
And so I was finding that I was changing my t-shirt when I was getting back to the tent anyway, because yeah, it was getting wet through the jacket. And then yeah, just trying to rotate those jackets through as well. So I've got a relatively dry one to put on at the start of the lap. And yeah, even though it's not keeping out all of the water, but it's still keeping me relatively warm. It's better than not wearing a jacket. And yeah, it's just something we had to deal with.
Yeah. So, what went through your mind when you learned that you were going to actually continue running on the road again for all of day two instead of the
I,
trail?
I was super happy about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I in a backyard, like the easier the course is, the better. Like, um, don't get me wrong, the trail course it's nice and scenic. It is a nice place to run, but in terms of a backyard course, like I don't think it's ideal because it just takes too long. I want to be getting in with more time. So when I heard that was going to be on the day course, oh sorry, when it was going to be on the road course for the day, like I was, yeah, this is great. Like it's boring, but I know that I can run the laps in good time. Like I don't need to push too hard to get in at a reasonable time. I actually talked to I think it was Sarah that I was talking to on the first night, and I was saying like how much I like the night course better, and it'd be cool if the whole event was on the night course. And this was before the rain and before like we knew that we weren't going to be on the trail course for the next day. So yeah, when it actually happened, I was pretty happy about it. However, after 37 hours on the road, I was a little bit relieved to be back on the trail, even though it was slower. It was just mentally, I think I needed that switch. And I think, yeah, with a lot of the events that have the day and the night course, I think just, yeah, having that switch in course just mentally makes it easier. Even if you're going onto a harder course, mentally it's a good thing. So like Dead Cow Gully, the Sat Champs, um, yeah, and Bigs, all of those ones where I've done really good results, they've all had a day course and a night course,
Yeah.
and I think that's a big part of helping the event go a lot further.
Yeah. Was the general consensus amongst the runners like, could you get a sense that that all the runners were keeping a positive attitude and they were kind of happy with staying on the road, or did you hear some runners saying, "Oh, I wish we were going back to the trail"? Or
Yeah, I thought that because I much preferred being on the road, and I thought most runners would be kind of feeling the same. But I think the sense that I got was that most people wanted to be back on the trail.
right, yeah,
So I was actually a bit surprised about that. I was like, we've got a much easier course here. Like, yes, it's boring, um, but you could just run without thinking, without needing to watch where your feet are every single step, and not worrying about falling over and you know getting in less than 50 minutes, like easily, rather than really having to push to get in under that time. And so I was a little bit surprised that some people were saying that they preferred the trail course.
mm,
But I kind of got what they meant when, yeah, after 37 hours of being on the road, I kind of understood from their point of view a little bit.
yeah. So you mentioned having a day and night course, and I was thinking about it during the race, how at Bigs it really makes for an exciting race having a really hard day course and having an easy night course. It makes it a really spectator kind of exciting spectator sport having that change, and it makes it really tactical. I think
Yeah,
it's just a good thing.
yeah.
That reason as
And
well.
yeah, the two courses at Biggs, they're like so drastically different. Like you look at Dead Cow Gully and the Sat Champs, like having the two different courses, but they're still, in terms of like pacing and stuff, they're relatively the same.
Mm,
Whereas this year, you've got like people coming in on the day course with like, 57, 58 minutes, and then changing to the night course and then able to get in under 50 minutes easy. So it definitely adds that different element. And it just shows like, even if you are struggling on the day course, you just need to hang on till you get to that night and then you'll get a little bit of relief.
yeah. Um, so everyone basically knows that you plan your races loop by loop quite specifically. So what adjustments, like if any, were made to the plan because of day two staying on the road?
I didn't really have to change anything. I just, yeah, still stuck to my normal paces. Um, and yeah, everything was just kind of business as usual. Um, if anything, like I had to change it. I changed it when I got to day three when we got back on the trail. So like day because I have the mix between. So during the day laps, I wasn't doing any fast laps because I just knew I wouldn't be able to do like my normal fast laps on the day course. So I had like my average pace and I had my recovery pace. And on day one, that was easy enough to stick to those two different paces. Day two, it was even easier because it was on the road, so I didn't really have to worry about it too much. But by day three, I found I couldn't even run at that average pace anymore. And well, I could, but I'd really have to push to get to that average pace. And it's just like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth burning myself out on the lap to just get in just so I can match that number that's on my plan. So from day three onwards, I just changed it like every single trail loop, every single day loop is going to be my recovery pace. And I didn't really stress about the time too much.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. And on that second day, because you were running faster loops than you would have if you're on the trail, did you take that opportunity to like get some sleep in there or anything like that?
There were a couple of laps where I had like 5 minutes shut eye, but it wasn't like I ran a lap faster to try and get some extra sleep time. It was just I'd come in at a reasonable time and I'd been able to do what I needed to do in the break, and I just had 5 minutes left over spare. So I'm just like, well, just close my eyes for 5 minutes. Whereas, yeah, from like day three onwards, there wasn't any spare time to do anything.
Yeah. Now I understand night two was quite cold.
Yes, it was freezing.
Right.
So night one was wet, but it wasn't too cold because we had the cloud cover. But yeah, night two there was no cloud cover, so there was no blanket there, so to say. And yeah, it was pretty icy cold.
Yeah. And had all your clothes dried by then?
Yeah, they dried, and also so each time Mally left, so he finished the day, he'd take all my dirty clothes and stuff back home and wash them and bring it back, so I'd have fresh clothes. So all of the stuff that had been wet and dirty on day one, yeah, had all been washed and returned and was all good.
Yeah, perfect. Now that's definitely a benefit of having the rotating crew, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And I've done it at other events as well, where like at Sat Champs, I had people come down and grab a bag of washing for me and take it away and bring it back a few hours later. At Dead Cow Gully, we actually had the washing machine there at the house that we could use. So yeah, it's definitely an advantage, I think, to be able to have that option to wash things,
Mm.
and especially when you're traveling overseas. And there's like I was scrimping and saving of what I could fit into my luggage, so I couldn't bring like my whole wardrobe. So yeah, just having the opportunity to be able to wash that extra stuff was good.
Yeah. And with your shoes drying, like did you just let them dry in the air or did you actually put them or did your crew put them in the dryer to dry them or how did you do that?
Now, so during the night when I was rotating through the shoes, like we didn't have anything really we could dry them with. I mean, you could go and put them next to the fire, but then they're going to be in the rain next to the fire, so it's not really going to help.
Yeah.
They were just stuffing them with paper towels, and yeah, so I kept one pair aside so it was dry, and then I had three other pairs to rotate through. So I was wearing my trail shoes on the road. So basically, yeah, so I'd rotate through three pairs of shoes. And so while I was out running in one, the other two were trying to get dry. So they're kind of sitting there for like, yeah, 2 hours to try and dry. They weren't, yeah, I'm still putting them back on and they're still damp, but they're better than what they would have been. And then once the rain had cleared up, we just put all the shoes into the sun and they dried up during the day. So
Yeah, perfect. Now, I was hearing online that there was squirrels and armadillos causing a bit of trip hazards.
I only saw one armadillo this year.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I saw a lot of them. But yeah, this year there was only one, and it wasn't a trip hazard for me because it was off the side of the road. And squirrels, I probably only saw like two or three squirrels.
Right, okay.
Um, Everywhere else in America, everywhere else I went for a run, I just see squirrels everywhere.
Yeah.
But at Bigs, yeah, probably only like two or three.
Okay. Yep. Now, I think we need to just appreciate the quality of the field you beat. So, with the exception of maybe two runners, everyone was there. Like all the big dogs, world record holders. the defending champion, national champions, heaps of young guns. So, like, when you look at, I mean, does it freak you out a little bit to be like so dominant against the very, very, very best?
I wouldn't say it freaks me out. Like it is kind of cool to know that I've gone and I've won this event knowing like who I've been up against. But yeah, I wouldn't say it freaks me out. I just, I just go in there and I just do my own thing and just, yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, it's one thing to break a world record, but it's something else to beat the very, very, very best, like, and not break the world record. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the world record, it wasn't even something on my mind. Like I just always just try to stay in the moment.
Yeah,
Even as we got close to it, like when we went to the 110s, like I still felt like we were a long way off and it still wasn't worth even really thinking about that. Um, and at the end of the day, it's like I had the world record anyway.
yeah,
Like I could come to this and win the world champion title. Um, but yeah, it's whether we got to world record or not, like that was something that I already had. So
yeah. So the transition in the race from the end of Tuesday day to Tuesday night, I thought was on another level from like a spectator's point of view. Like there were so many exciting storylines. There was like Megan Eckert and Sarah Perry like smashing female records and hopefully making it to 100. There was fan favorite Hendrik Buri's quest to break 100. And there looked to be a battle between you and Quintapass brewing, and it was pretty epic. So, could you get a sense that there was like something in the air, like this was like a pretty special race happening here?
yeah, so I did think it was pretty cool. Like I was chatting with Meg and Sarah a little bit, and as we're getting closer to the 87 mark, that was pretty exciting that they were going to break the record. And then once we got to that point, it was like, well, who's going to be the last one standing out of you two? Like to see who comes home with it, because it's one thing to break it, but then you've still got another female in the race that you need to outlast. So I think that was pretty cool, and there was a bit of hype around that on the course. I didn't realize at the time as well that the UK record was also 87. So to see Sarah get that as well, that was pretty cool. In terms of like a battle between me and Nicola, like I didn't get that sense at all. Like, yeah, what I've learned with these races is to not focus on what other people are doing, not stress about what other people are doing. Like I'm just going in there to do the best race that I can do. When he's running laps out and finishing, 2 to 3 minutes ahead of me, I'm not thinking about that at all. Like I'm not stressing like, oh no, he's running faster than me, like he's going to beat me. It's just I know that I'm getting in with enough time with what I need to do. And it's the same for people that are finishing behind me. Like when people are coming in with 56, 57 minutes, I'm not thinking, oh, I've got this guy, like he's not going to last much longer. I just bring it back to knowing what I'm doing and knowing that I've got enough time to do what I need to do, and whatever anyone else is doing is not important.
Yeah. So, were there any issues, like negative things that you had to overcome during the first 3 days?
I found the first 2 days relatively hard,
Right.
but I've come to learn that that seems to happen in a lot of my backyards.
Mm,
So I think when I'm at that point where I'm running for 5 days, those first 2 days can just seem like they drag out, and you're still running a really long distance, but in the whole scheme of it, it doesn't feel like you feel worse than what you expect that you would at that point because you think, oh, it's only like 48 hours. Like that's not even halfway to the world record. So I definitely do find those first 2 days tougher. Um, but yeah, by day three, I felt I was really in my element. And that's been pretty typical of my most recent backyards as well, getting to that day 3 point and everything just seems to start to click into place. And I think the laps blur together a little bit better. So you can be out on course for an hour, but it doesn't feel like that. You just lose track of time a little bit. So day three, I think, was my best day. After day three, so yeah, day four and five, I started to have a few more like cognitive issues, which I haven't had at my most recent backyards. I think the last time I had that issue was probably at Biggs 2 years ago, where I was just like, there was one point I just had forgotten what had happened the previous 3 days. I just had no memory. I was asking my crew like what happened with James and Ryan because I knew that they weren't in the race anymore, but I didn't remember them stopping or dropping out. I didn't know what point that dropped out. It was, yeah, it got a little bit scary at some points, like how much I actually had forgotten.
Right.
Um, but I kind of lapsed in and out of that sort of state. Like some some laps I was just like really clear and coherent of what was going on, but then other laps I'd come in and I'd be like, okay, Jem, you need to fill me in. Like what's happened the last 3 days? Like where are we at?
Yeah,
So
wow.
yeah.
And when you were feeling like that, like did you do anything different in your loops? Say, for example, did you run with any other runners just to keep your mind active?
Uh, no, I just try to get more nutrition in on
Right.
the night laps. I try to get more sleep in. So I did actually start carrying nutrition out with me on the laps, which is not something I normally do. I normally just have nutrition when I get back in, and I'll take like trail brew on the laps, but I've never really taken food before. But this time I was taking food out with me, and I'd eat it at like the halfway point, or when I got to like a good kind of walking section, I'd eat the food. But yeah, in terms of like, yeah, I didn't feel like I needed to run with anyone. Like on the day course, I was getting really confused about the course itself. Like at one point, I asked my crew, I'm like, okay, are we on the Bigs course or are we on the Trail Snails course?
Yeah.
And for some reason in my head, I just thought that there were all these courses out there, like interwoven with each other, and we just had to pick one of the courses and follow it.
Right.
But once you're actually out there and you're following the course, it's really easy to follow. And I just had to remind myself that you just had to, yeah, just keep following the course. There's not really any spots where you can take a wrong turn. So I just had to kind of just trust in that once I'm out on the course, it'll just flow and it'll just make sense to me when I'm out there,
Yeah.
and I'll be able to come in and finish the lap.
Yeah. And so was taking the food out with you like a strategy just to do some more things while you're out there to keep you kind of like on the ball?
No, it was just a way to get
Okay.
more calories in.
Yeah.
Because I think that's when I've had these issues in the past, yeah, it's been, I think the main one is lack of sleep. And I was still getting a decent amount of sleep on the night laps. Like that didn't really seem to be too much of an issue. But then the other thing is when I'm not getting enough calories. So I think the calories, because I was getting in with like 53 minutes to spare, like it's still enough time to do what I need to do, but I might have not been finishing my whole amount of food that I had in that break. And I was feeling hungry when I was out on course. So I'm like, I can't eat any more during the break. So let's just take something out. And I made sure I was taking out some lollies or some biscuits each time that I went out just to try and get those extra calories in and hopefully make my mind a little bit sharper.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. And what about was there a period where you were feeling particularly good, or was there something that was working better for you than it had ever worked before?
Um, yeah, well, as I said, the day three was when I was feeling the best. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like in the whole scheme of the whole race, I don't think it's been my best race.
Yeah.
There were things that went wrong, and a lot of things that would normally be really easy for me were not as easy in
Right.
this one.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I still finished as the last one standing, still felt pretty strong when I got to that 114.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was a bit of a rocky road to get there at some points,
Yeah.
which it might have not looked like that on the live stream. But there was definitely a bit happening kind of internally, like under the surface that yeah, didn't come across on the live stream.
Yeah. Well, there was talk that you were going to the toilet a fair bit.
I did see that, but I didn't feel like I was going to the toilet any more than usual. So yeah, like in terms of gut issues, like I had a few minor gut issues. on the first night. I did actually, there was one lap where I threw up 4 times,
Oh wow.
but we got back on top of that pretty quickly. But yeah, in terms of GI issues, like, yeah, after that first couple of days, it was fine. Like, my biggest problem was I just wasn't eating enough and I was feeling hungry.
Yeah, sure, okay. And what do you think it is that because you were vomited on the first day at Sydney's as well, if I remember correctly. What do you think it is about backyard ultras where you're running slowly and everything, but you're still vomiting? What do you reckon it is?
I don't know, like it never used to be a big issue for me, but it has happened to me at a few of my recent races. And I don't know, maybe it's just the body just needs a bit of extra time to adjust or something. So, but as I said, those first 2 nights seem to be the hardest, but then once I'm through that, it's easy. So I
Yeah.
think my body just might need that adjustment period.
Yeah. But
Um,
maybe because your body knows how far you're going to be running.
yeah,
It's just this way of like getting ready.
yeah, yeah. It's like, stop doing this to me. You're
Yeah.
not doing this again.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's kind of good to get that out of the way early, and then you know that you've dealt with it and you've come out the other side fine. Because if it just happens for the first time, like late in the event, I think it could cause a downward spiral pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you're like low on calories and stuff like that compared to the
Yeah,
start of the race.
yeah,
Yeah. And the 12-hourly crew changes, it sounds like they all went smooth like clockwork.
yeah, yeah. That went really well. Yeah, Jem said it was one of the easiest times she's had to crew because she's getting, yeah, a 12-hour break each time. Yeah, so I think they're only um, so we still only had one crew at a time, which did make a difference because I'm used to having like 2 or 3 people. And so, I've got one person sorting out my food for me, one person giving me a foot rub, one person, grabbing something that I need for the next lap or something. This time it was like one person had to try and do all of that stuff. So a lot of the time I just go without a foot rub because it's like, yeah, my crew would have to be doing all the other things. And it was only like, okay, have you done everything that needs to be done? Yep. Okay, cool. We've got a couple of minutes. Let's do a foot rub or something like that. Whereas, yeah, other events I could just come in, get my shoes off, and I get that foot rub straight away, and the foot rub will keep going until I need to go out again. And yeah, so I think that makes a difference, just having just the one person to kind of have to look after every aspect of it. Uh, but yeah, it did help a little bit towards the end when I had the 2 people crewing me. It made a difference, and yeah, that was really noticeable. So uh, yeah, having the 12-hour crew swap was good, but I still would like to have an extra crew person.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the last day was absolutely epic. It's the day loop started on 97, I think, and it was around this time that coin to pass started slowing down and looking a bit shaky. Like, I mean, we talked about him before. He was finishing most of his loops in front of you, and it was the first time you'd run against him as well. So, were you surprised when he started showing cracks?
Um, Not really, but like as I've said already, like I'm not focusing on what other people are doing, and I knew that that day course was tough, and um, like I was. If I wanted to do a fast lap and I would really push it to get in under 50 minutes, like that was hard work to get in under 50 minutes. So when I see the other runners coming in, 55 minutes, 57 minutes, like I know it's a hard course but it's like they just need as long as I can keep doing that and get through the day, when they get to the night, they'll get a bit more reprieve and they can go a bit quicker. So the fact that, yeah, I hadn't really been paying attention to what times Nicola was coming in anyway. Um, and yeah, so when he started dropping back, it just, yeah, it wasn't even something that I thought about. Like I've gone back and looked over the live timing and stuff to see how the lap times looked for different people, but during the event, yeah, not something I focused on.
Yeah. How good was Dan Carmack?
Yeah, he was amazing. And he was just so every time I ran with him or ran past him, he was just so like so chirpy and happy, and
Yeah,
yeah, he and especially like it was a pretty last minute call up for him. Like he probably only had like a month to prepare, like to make up his mind and to prepare.
yeah,
And he's come in there and he's only got just his dad as crew, so he hasn't even got crew swaps or anything. And he's just done so well, and he's just been so happy the whole time that he's doing it.
yeah,
And yeah, smashed his PB and then kept going. And um, I was hoping he was going to get into the hundreds, um, but yeah, I don't even know what it was that made him stop at 93. But yeah, it was a awesome performance.
yeah, cool. I've got him on the podcast on Monday, so
Yeah, wicked.
I'll pick his brain there.
Yeah.
So when the race came down to the final four at yard 170, sorry, 107, it was yourself, John Knoll, Harvey Lewis, and Evo. And for me, it was around that time when it looked like the gap between how you looked and the others looked started to widen. And it looked like it got bigger every loop, but they kept on going and going and going. I mean, they all ran the race of their lives. But were there any times when you just couldn't believe they kept making it back and answering the bell?
Well, look at Evo for a start. I'd noticed cracks in his armor in like the 70s, and I've been back and I've started watching the live stream again. And he had that lean, he had that tilt, and that looked like it started in the 70s. And I was thinking, um, yeah, kind of around that point that, he might not last that much longer. So the fact that he kept going like that, and some of his later laps, he was coming in at 57, 58 minutes, and he's still turning around and going out again. So
Yeah,
the fact that he finished as the assist is just amazing. John Noel as well, I think he had one of the slowest average times. And again, coming in, yeah, 57, 58 minutes and having that quick turnaround and going out again.
yeah,
Although I was thinking that he was actually, when it was down to us four, I was thinking he was actually looking the strongest because
yeah, yeah,
Harvey was looking a little bit shaky, and then Evo had that lean for like the last 30 hours, 40 hours. Um, but even though he was coming in with just minutes to spare, he still looked the strongest. So
yeah,
I was surprised that he actually turned around first.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was just, again, like I'm not really, I'm just there to run my race and go as far as I can go. And it was a bit of a shock when John and Harvey kind of just dropped at the same lap, and then it was all of a sudden just me and Evo. Like I wasn't expecting it to come up that quick. I was still thinking that these guys are going to be here when morning comes. So yeah, it just all kind of seemed to happen very quickly.
yeah,
And then the next thing I know, is telling me that he's dropping out as well, and kind of managed to convince him to come out for one more, which gave Gemma and Caroline a chance to get back to
yeah.
the event before it finished. And yeah,
Laz loved that as well. I've heard Laz bring that up about three or four times. How you asked
yeah,
him, "Do you want to go out
yeah,
for one more?" Yeah, that was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and
I had a little chat with him after we started, and because I know what it's like when you got all the crowd there like egging you to go on, and he's like, "Yeah, right." I did kind of like I wanted him to know I wasn't forcing him to come out on another lap with me. So I'm like, it's completely up to you, whatever you want to do. Um, I'm here to support you for it. And he was happy to continue on the lap, so we just ran that whole lap together, and that
yeah,
was pretty cool to spend that time with him.
yeah, it would have been. Um, while you were out there running with him on that 113th yard, was he telling you that this was definitely his last one?
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't keen to do another one after that. But I looked at it afterwards, and we'd come in at like 52 minutes or something, which was like 5 minutes quicker than his previous lap. So now I'm thinking maybe I could have talked him into doing another lap. But I mean, whatever he wanted to do, I was there to do it with him. So, but yeah, he was telling me like that was going to be his last lap. He would start the next lap, um, but yeah, take a couple of steps over the start line and then turn back. So.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I mean, everyone knew that Evo was a backyard great before Biggs. Like he'd broken 102 times, world record holder. But I think that run of 113 yards as the assist has taken him to a level where probably only yourself and Harvey Lewis are above him. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. And like on that course as well, to do 100 in a backyard is just incredible.
Yeah,
But to do it on that course is just even more incredible, I think. And so he's now done so he's done 100. Is that his third time he's done over 100?
yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, he's just such a nice guy as well, like so humble. And I didn't actually get to talk with him a lot during the event until that last lap. That's probably when I spoke with him the most. And it was just really, yeah, it was just really good to share that lap with him.
yeah. So I think it's worth mentioning Oriel. He became only the second person to run two 100-yard races in a calendar year. And you're the only other person who's actually done it, and you've done it twice. I reckon that could be a record that's hard to beat.
Yeah. Well, I think Merrin did it 2 years ago as well.
He
So he
he
did.
not two in one year though. Not two in one year. He's done it. He's done 100
Um,
4 years in a row because he did it at Sat
yeah.
Champs, then he did it at Bigs, and he did it at Sat Champs again, and then he did
Yeah.
it at Dead Cow Gully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you and Moran have the equal amount of 100s.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking he'd done two in 1 year when I did two in 1 year, but no, you're right. It's been yeah, he's done one each year.
Mm.
But yeah, yeah, there's not, when you think about it, there's not a lot of time between Dead Cow Gully
No.
and Big's backyard.
Yeah.
Like for me, my recovery normally goes pretty well, and I felt like it was enough time for me. But yeah, it's just cool to see Oriel do that as well, get 100
Yeah.
twice in a year.
Yeah.
Well, twice in within the space of 4 months, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, I've read a couple of posts that claim your win at Biggs has proven once and for all that quick loops are better than slower loops. So, how true do you reckon that claim is?
Well, that's what works for me.
Yeah.
But I think with the backyard, there's just so much variety. But if you look at the top four at Bigs, three of them were running slow loops. Only one of them was running fast loops.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends what way you look at it. Yeah, I might have won overall, but their strategy or their method of doing the slow loops still got them into the top four. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it worked for me because I do have that good top end speed, and I can run that comfortably. But whereas I think if you're a runner going to try that technique, but you're not generally a fast runner over like say 5Ks,
Mm.
and you're really pushing it to make those times to get those quicker times, you're just going to burn yourself out too much. And I think you're better off going with the slow laps.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just found the nice balance that works for me. And I'll do those fast laps at night, but then in the day I'm still running slow laps. So I do vary it.
Yeah. I mean, people follow programs and train their little hearts out to run faster 5Ks and faster marathons and things like that. So there must be a way of training that people can do that would help them run consistently faster backyard ultra loops, even if that means like on average 1 minute a loop faster. So, I mean, what would you say would be the best way to train to like get faster at running loops in a backyard ultra?
Yeah, well, in my normal training, I'll have at least one speed session per week. Uh, but I think what's worked for me is I didn't go straight into doing backyards. I
Mm.
started with a 5K, and I just wanted to get really fast at 5K. And then when I got them pretty fast at 5K, then I was, doing fast half marathons and fast marathons. And I think the way that and this hasn't been intentional, this is just how it's worked out. But the way that I've done it of focusing on those shorter distances and building the speed up over those shorter distances and then extending the distances out, I think that's just been how I've been able to do the fast laps in the backyard. And I've still got that sort of residual speed, even though I can't do a sub 16 park run anymore. I could still go on a normal day and knock out a sub 18 easy enough.
Yeah.
So I think just kind of building those foundations and focusing on those foundations for, it would have been like 5 years, over a 5 year period. I was doing that before I got into the backyards. That's what's really worked to my benefit. Whereas, yeah, if I just come in and just started doing backyards straight away and not really focus on, building that top end speed, I don't think I'd be the same runner.
Yeah. So if someone is a fast runner and they want to get into backyard ultras, then they should keep doing their speed work and stuff. Just because they're running backyard ultras, they shouldn't just stop doing speed work then.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And even like when you look at when I first got into backyards, I still wanted to go and run fast 5Ks. So there wasn't like, okay, now I'm doing fast 5Ks. I'm just going to stop all that, and now I'm just going to go straight into backyards. It was like a gradual transition. So even though when I started doing the backyards and the 24-hour races and all that, I was still going to park run and trying to do sub 17 or sub 16 park runs each week. And the speed work has always been a part of my training, no matter what distance I'm doing. I've always made sure to include that in my training.
Yeah. So over the time you've been running backyards, like, have you found running sub 45-minute yards over and over again? Like, is it easier than it used to be?
Um, so when I first started, like from my second backyard, I try to do every night lap like under 40 minutes.
Right.
And I found that that was too quick. And I found it was too many. And that's why I've now settled on the pattern of doing three fast, one slow, three fast, one slow, three fast, because it gives my body that little break. So I think, yeah, with my night laps, depending on the course, it's generally between 39 and 41 minutes, which I find is sustainable, let's say indefinitely. Um, but yeah, if I try to do that every single lap and not have that recovery lap in between, I think it would catch up on me pretty quick. And then yeah, like a 45-minute lap would be more of like my average pace. Again, depending on the course, like I wasn't able to do that on the big stay course. But that 45 minutes I think is still pretty sustainable for the long term.
Yeah, cool. Now, I've heard you speak about your crewing experience with Sean Bell a few times on this podcast as well as others. And I mean, all your very, very best performances have been after that experience. Like,
Yeah.
do you think that you'd still be the runner you are today without that experience crewing for Sean?
No, no. Yeah, I learned so much on that run. And even though like during the run itself, like I didn't have a lot of time to train at all. And I think like the most I'd run in a day is probably like 15 Ks or something. So my training, like my physical training actually took a step back, but what I learned from him mentally and like logistically has helped me heaps. The other thing from that run as well is that's when I actually met Mally and spent a lot of time with Mally, and now he's come on to crew for me for a few events, and he's made a big difference to my performance as well, I think.
Yeah, that's unreal. Now, do you have the golden coin there with you right now?
I do.
Oh, that's awesome. What? Show me the other side. Nice.
Yeah.
That's unreal. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty
Um,
exciting.
oh, it sure is.
Um,
So, I mean, you're still the world record holder, 119 yards. I, whenever there's a world record, I always say it's going to be ages till it's broken next. But what do you think will happen with the world record in the short term and the long term?
I think it'll be broken within the year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like Bigs is a hard course, and you put a bunch of good runners on an easier course. There's no doubt it'll get broken. Like you look at what's happening, with the Polish runners, with the Belgian runners, the Japanese runners, they're all doing so well. So I reckon, yeah, something like Legends in Belgium, they'll be able to have a good opportunity there. But yeah, I know, like I've got the world record currently, but I know that it'll be fleeting, and someone will come and take it one day, and that's just how the sport evolves. And whether it's, it'll be cool if it's at an event where I'm at and I'm able to, you know, keep it, like raise the record but still keep it. Or it might be an event where I'm not there and I don't have the opportunity, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. And what about the long term? Like, do you reckon 150 will be reached one day?
Um, I think 150 is possible, given how I felt at the end of my runs where I've done really well. Uh, it's just a matter of finding someone else who also thinks that that's possible and has a physical ability to back it up.
Yeah. So retiring from backyard ultras is what I think you said when you finished at Bigs. But I'm tipping you'll still be running for Team Australia at Sat Champs next year,
Yeah. Well, I think I say that after all my backyards, don't I?
yeah?
Um, but yeah, like I'm not retiring from backyards. I definitely do want to branch out and try some different things. Uh, yeah, like I'd love to do a 6 day. I want to see if I can go further in the 24 hour. Although the 24 hour just seems like such a short run now. It's like doing a park run. Um, but yeah, I'll be at Sat Champs and there's other backyards that I'll be at. So um, yeah, I think people just took me a little bit seriously when I said at the end on the live stream that I'm not doing anymore. Yeah, I've said that multiple times in the past as well. Not normally in the first 2 days of the backyard, I'm just like, I'm not doing one of these again. This is stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be
So you talked about trying new things, but winning bigs basically means an entry into the Barkley marathons. So what are your froth levels like for running the Barkley?
my cross levels are zero.
Really?
It is not an event that I want to do.
Right.
And even if I did want to do it at the time of year that it is, it's around other events that I want to do more. So yeah, there's 0% chance you'll see me at Buckley's.
Okay, cool. Well, after that retirement thing that you said, like it's given people the impression that you won't be running at bigs in 2 years' time, but you could be.
I could be, and I have heard rumors that it may be in a different location.
Mm.
And if that's the case, I think I'll much more likely be going to run it because if it's, in a different country that I haven't been to before, it's on an easier course. Yeah, there'll just be more reasons for me to go back there, I think. But if it's in Tennessee again, same location, like the amount of times that I told Jem during the day, I hate this course, I hate this course, I hate this course. Like, I don't know if I want to go back there.
Yeah,
I've been there now and I've been there twice and I've won it once. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Uh, but yeah, if it changes location, yeah, I might be going back.
yeah. So, would you like to go over there as, say, to cruise someone? Like, if just say Tim Moffat, if he qualifies, would you like to go over there for that?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to kind of be there but not have the pressure of racing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll have to get them qualified first.
Yeah. Um, and I mean, there's other things happening in the backyard ultra world now as well. Like, there's more live streams, and at Bigs, they had like a commentary team. So, like, would you like to be part of a live stream commentary team if that was offered to you?
Um, yeah, I don't know if I'd be very good at it though.
You
I
would
can't
be.
talk like you talk, Pato. I think you do a good job on the live streams. But yeah, yeah, maybe I'd entertain the idea. Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah. So you ran your first backyard ultra, your first of 15 backyard ultras in 2020, and you've seen the sport grow heaps since then in so many ways. So, I mean, what do you think the future of backyard ultras look like in the short term and long term?
It's hard to say because yeah, you look at like the world record and how that's progressed over the last 5 years, and it just seems to be increasing every year. But it's got to reach a limit at some point, doesn't it? Like it's got to be like a theoretical limit that humans can't go beyond. And I don't know where that is. As I said before, I think 150 is possible. Beyond that, it's probably possible. But yeah, it's just that these events are just getting so long now as well. Like I had to take like 3 weeks off of work just to be able to go and do one race. Um, but yeah, I'd like to yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna end up, where how far it's gonna keep going. Uh, but I mean, with all these big events we're also seeing a lot of smaller events pop up, and I mean, it's cool to see an event and people trying it out for the first time, and yeah, you're getting people running their first backyard and running over 50 yards, and so I think that end of it is cool as well. People just learning about these events, and they're seeing what other people have done, and they're seeing what's possible. So when someone comes and runs 50 yards for their first ever backyard, um, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And what do you think about like races that aren't bigs affiliated? Because there's some big ones starting to pop up, like that Go One More Ultra. Like, do you think that like something like that could actually take over and be the main last one standing type of race, like take over bigs? Like if someone like Nick Bear wants to, like a professional league or something like that might happen.
Yeah, a professional league would be pretty cool, but I mean, I think Big's backyard will kind of always be the home of it. Um, yeah, it's funny to read the comments on like when I was following that Go One More, and it's like it just made me realize there's so many people out there that don't actually know what a backyard ultra is. Like people are watching this thinking that this is the first time this event has ever happened. And they're like, these guys are getting, into the 40, 50 hours, and they're like, oh my gosh, like how can a human run for this long? And it's like, dude, you've never heard of a backyard ultra before. Like they're not even halfway to the world record yet.
Yeah,
So I kind of think it's cool in a way that it's just introducing people to this world and to this format. Um, but yeah, it just also makes me realize that there's so many people out there that doesn't know what backyard ultra is. Like it's still so niche.
yeah,
But I don't think it'll ever take over. Like I think like bigs will still be like the world championship. That'll be like the golden standard kind of thing.
yeah. I think that that Go One More example, all these people like seeing it for the first time. I think it also shows how much potential it has to grow because so many people get into that. Like that was a huge race, that Go One More, and so many people loved it. So it just goes to show that the format is something that people like get into.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Um, so after your win at Bigs, like I've heard some comments where people are suggesting that you run an exhibition backyard ultra, like say for example against a rotating list of runners to see how far you can go.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Kipchoge was set up to run that sub 2 hour marathon. So, um, would you entertain doing something like that?
Yeah, maybe. It would be cool to yeah, it's an interesting concept just because I've always had to stop because the second last person has stopped, except for two times. Uh, but yeah, if you take away that factor, it's yeah, how much further could I go?
Yeah,
Might
yeah,
be able to find out.
yeah. So a lot of people want to find out, like, is it something that you want to find out too? Like you would like to find out?
Yeah, I think it would be cool, but at the same time, it's kind of cool thinking that I don't have a limit. Like I know there's a limit, obviously, but I'm just kind of in that limbo stage at the moment where, yeah, I don't know what that limit is.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think, yeah, I would entertain the idea. I think it's a pretty cool idea
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think the thing I like about backyards and only going as far as the assist will take you is that unknown. And like in 50 years, when people are comparing the greatest backyard ultra runners of all time, there's always that like thing, like you don't actually know how far they could go. So it's like makes that conversation even more interesting.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's what I like about it. But yeah,
yeah,
mate, I would be intrigued to see how far you could go.
yeah. Well, it's like you look at when I first got into backyards and the world record holder was Carol Saab and
Hmm.
he'd run 75, but he was the winner. So
Yeah,
you don't know how much further he could have gone. But as far as I know, I don't think he's done a backyard since then. Like he's done a lot of cool ultra races and I think he's done some FKTs and that. Um, but yeah, I'd like to see how, if me and him were together in a race, like how would we go against each other?
Yeah.
Because yeah, 75 now, like it doesn't seem like that big a number, but when he did it, that was the top, that was the highest anyone had ever done, and that was incredible.
Mm.
So it'd be interesting to put us together in a race,
Mm.
or even if you could put him in like his prime condition, like when he ran that, and yeah, kind of teleport in time to now
Yeah.
to see how he would go, because yeah, I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah. I still haven't given up on seeing Goggins run a backyard ultra.
Yeah,
I would love that.
yeah. I think he's definitely got the mental capability to do it, but I think his body's breaking down a little bit these days. But it'd be interesting anyway. I'd like to see how he goes.
Yeah, he's running races again. I see he's running another 200 miler soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, Now, Phil, I know that you know I like asking for three backyard ultra tips at the
yeah.
end of my podcast, but you've done it a few times, so I've got an extra question for you. What is the biggest mistake you've ever made in a backyard ultra?
Yeah, so I don't think there's ever been like one really big mistake that I've made. But if I look back over the events that I feel have gone really well compared to the events that haven't gone that well, I think the biggest difference is the ones that haven't gone that well, I've got too caught up in focusing on what other people are doing. I'm getting a lot better at it these days. Like I'm very good at kind of just focusing on my own race. But if I look back to, my early races and those ones that didn't go that well, even though I might have come away with the win, um, it just wasn't a good experience towards the end because I was using up too much mental energy focusing on what the competition was doing, and it became too much about trying to win the race rather than trying to do my best kind of thing.
Yeah, and you see that on the YouTube documentary Unlimit when Big Kev keeps on going. You're actually you're talking to your crew saying, "Yeah, I didn't think he was going to go out that last loop, but he did." And remember,
Yeah,
yeah, he's actually
yeah,
seen in that doco.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And it was really hard because I thought he was going to drop from, oh, I can't remember what point, but he'd been telling me on laps running together, and he's like, "I'm going to stop on this lap." And I'm like, they're not going to let you. And I'm like, you have to time yourself out.
yeah,
And yeah, it just kept like every lap I thought was last, he just kept going out again. And like mentally, that just got really tough.
yeah,
But I've just learned now to not focus on what the competition's doing.
mm,
And even like you look at Decal Gully, and Sam was struggling for a long time, even before it was down to just us two. But if I got caught up in thinking, oh, he's going to finish soon, like I would have struggled a lot mentally. But I didn't. I just knew that as long as he was there, he was going to keep going. So I just focused on sticking to my plan and doing my own race and making sure, just practicing patience, and we'd get to the end eventually.
yeah. And when you're in that situation, do you kind of instead of like thinking about what they're doing, do you kind of like just watch them and just like because I mean, watching Sam do that was pretty cool. Like, did you kind of think that this is actually pretty cool to watch as well?
No, I didn't really know. It was just, yeah, I was 100% just focused on my own thing.
Yeah,
I mean, there were times where I asked my crew, like, oh, what time did he come in that lap and stuff. And so, like, it is hard to kind of distance yourself, but it kind of didn't matter what time they said he came in at, because it didn't matter if he'd come in at like 59 minutes or 50 minutes. Like, I still knew as long as he finished that lap, he was going to be going out for another one. So, yeah, yeah, I just try not to get caught in the trap of thinking the event's going to finish soon.
yeah,
Like, and you see that at Bigs, there's so many times where, yeah, runners are coming in with like 1 or 2 minutes to spare, but they're still there like 10 hours later.
yeah,
So you can't get caught up in thinking, oh, just because I came in 59 minutes, that means they're just about done. They can still have a lot left in the tank.
yeah. And there were so many examples of that at this Bigs and the one 2 years ago as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And what about three backyard ultra tips? Have you got any for us
I
anyway?
do. They might be a repeat, but I just think that they're worth reinforcing. So the first one I'll say, and this is a big one, and it's taken me a bit to learn this. Like I have kind of always said it from the beginning, and but I know it's hard to do, and it's taken me a while to kind of get into that mode. But it's just to stay in the present moment. So don't project too far ahead. Don't look at what other people are doing. Just stay in the present moment. Just focus on what you're doing now for this lap. It might help to look a little bit ahead. Like, if you're struggling through the night laps, you might think, well, it's only a few more hours till sunrise, or you're struggling on the day laps because you're coming in with 2 minutes to spare. You've just got a few more laps to get to that night course where it's a lot easier running. So yeah, stay in the present moment. But yeah, maybe look a couple of laps ahead, but don't get caught up in thinking this race is going to be finished soon or whatever it is. Don't think, oh, I've got, this leg problem starting. Like, how am I going to get through the next 24 hours with this leg issue or whatever? Just stay in the present moment. My second tip is make sure you have a good crew. So this has been said a lot on your podcast as well, but it's just uh, it's it's not just vital for having a good race, but for just also making it like a positive experience. Like you want people to share this journey with. You want people to share this experience with, and you could go and self crew and do quite well, but then you're out there on your own. It's not as fun. It's good to have people to share that journey with and share that win with and all of that. So I think your crew selection is very important. You want someone who wants to be there. You don't want to be twisting somebody's arm and dragging them along.
Yeah,
And there's plenty of people out there who love crewing. Um, Although I did have to twist my wife's arm the first time I asked her to crew for me for a 12-hour, but
right.
once she'd crewed that race, she was pretty locked into
Yeah,
crewing everything after that because she had so much fun.
yeah.
Um, and my third tip, it's a very basic one, and I've said it before on your podcast, but I still think a lot of people don't listen, is get elastic shoelaces. Like this makes such a big difference. Being able to take off my shoes at the end of each lap, just slip them off easy and slip them back on. Get your foot rubs in between, or you can dump them into ice buckets or whatever it is. It just makes it so much easier. And the amount of times I saw people at bigs, this is the elite level, and they're crossing the start line, and then they're stopping to tie up their shoe because it's come undone
Mm,
or something like that. And not only is that wasting time, it's like trying to bend over when you've been running for that long.
yeah.
It's not great. So yeah, just elastic shoelaces. It's just one thing that you do before the race even starts, and it just saves you so much time during the race.
Where do you buy yours?
I just get them from Chemist Warehouse.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's just $10 for a pair of laces, and the laces are long enough that I can cut it in half, and so one lace will do two shoes. So yeah,
perfect.
it's not even an expensive thing.
Yeah, yeah. I use them and I love them. I get mine from lacespace.com.au.
Uh, yeah,
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast, Phil, and
no, thanks for having me.
congratulations on winning at Bigs. I mean, everyone's saying goat, and you definitely are the goat.
Thank you.
So can we see you in a backyard ultra before Sat Champs, or do you reckon that will be your next one?
Uh, yes, there is one that I'm looking at doing before then, but I will reveal details of that on my socials later.
Okay, no worries. Well, look, thanks again for coming on and congratulations on winning. It was such a great performance and it was so fun watching it from home on the live stream and seeing you do it in the biggest race of your life.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's been good going back and watching some of the live stream as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, it would be better to watch it live, but I was a bit busy at the time.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll be in touch and
Yeah,
thanks again.
no dramas. Thank you.